What's going on, AIM
Yes.
Squad?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Another week of football has
That's it.
been. That's it.
We are on officially to
Yeah.
week 6.
Week 6.
And what a week 5 we had.
Oh, we had a crazy week 5. We had a fun week 5. A lot of divisional games. A lot of really close games.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting games.
Even it went straight from week to from Thursday right up until Monday. Like it was a good game. Like,
All games went down to the wire.
it did.
Or it just was. You had to watch it to see the ending of it.
Yeah.
There was no game while it was over. It was all excited, and there's a lot to talk about. But then week 6 is upon us. This is going to be a fun week.
Yeah. Lots to talk about. Lots to do. So let's get it started.
Let's do it.
So, going into week 5 last week,
Yes.
we had our own respective records, and we're looking to get back above the 500 mark. And I think we might be one step closer. So,
Yeah.
Alnoor started off week 5 at 5-6-1 before last week's game of the weeks. I was at 4-7-1. So, the first game of the week that we had in week 5 was Baltimore versus Cincinnati, where Baltimore was favored -2.5.
Yep.
Ulner had called Cincinnati +2.5.
Oh, brother.
I called -2.5 Baltimore. So,
So
Ulner,
close,
let me
so
throw it
close.
to you first, brother.
So close.
What happened? What did you see? In hindsight, of course, you want to take
Yeah.
the win, but did you see something that maybe happened last minute that you thought was the make or break? Like, what was your takeaway from that game, man?
Big divisional game. Cincinnati came out firing. They knew they had to win this game. And they put Baltimore on their heels. They came out scoring touchdowns. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow was on fire. Baltimore still had their little miscues here and there. But Baltimore's a team that will always claw back after. They clawed back. They tied the game eventually, and the game was sent to overtime, where Cincinnati had the ball. Burrow was taking them down.
Yeah.
And then McPherson had the game-winning kick on his line, like just there. Yeah, all
Yeah,
he do was
I
make
remember
it. Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball. They got the
That
ball.
was
back.
scary. That was scary.
Super scary. And he missed a field goal. Botched it. And I feel like that was their season. Baltimore marched down, got the field goal, and Tucker, Mr. Money,
Yeah.
bangs it, and Irshad covers the spread -2.5.
That's
I
it.
took the loss to the chin, but a very eventful, exciting game.
That was a fun game to watch.
So Irshad got the W there. I took the loss there, which now leads us to the second game of the week, which was a division game as well, which
Yeah.
was between Indianapolis and Jacksonville, where we both had Jacksonville -3. Irshad, tell him how this game went.
Yeah, man. Another divisional matchup
Yep.
because you know how we do here at AIM Sports.
We love divisional
We
matchups.
love divisional matchups. I mean, going into the game, we knew Jacksonville was in trouble, right? They were already 0-4. They couldn't afford another loss, especially not to a divisional rival. That would have practically solidified their, their post
Yes.
season wild card race,
Yes.
or perhaps lack thereof. But luckily, they were able to sneak a win at 3 points exactly.
Yes.
So though we didn't win, we didn't lose either. It was a push. A couple of things. Honestly, it was a close game. Joe Flacco and Lawrence honestly came out swinging, right? They both had lulls in their games. They both had drives where they were playing some rookie football, but they also had drives where they're making some elite plays, right? Their rushing squad had come out. Tank Bigsby,
Yeah.
period. Okay? I think ETN has some competition with his snap comp.
I think he lost the job.
I think he did. I think he's number 2, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But Etienne really dropped the ball for us in a couple of ways. But Tank Bigsby single-handedly held down the backfield for Jacksonville. But on the flip side, it didn't just start and stop there. The receiving core on both Jacksonville as well as Indianapolis played real well, right? These were solid. Just to give you a frame of reference, though the Colts lost, Ulner, Alec Pierce had 3 receptions. He was
Yeah.
targeted 3 times. He had 3 receptions. And in those 3 receptions, he got 1 TD and 134 yards.
Wow.
So Flacco was finding it, and he was making it work, as was Trevor Lawrence. So all to say, it was a good game all around. You know what? We didn't get the dub, but we sure as how we didn't get the loss either.
Yeah.
So we're appreciative of that. So we got the push,
Yes.
which leads us to our last game of the week, where it was the Arizona Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers. The line was -7, and Ulner and I both called Arizona +7.
Yep.
Ulner, let me throw it to you, brother. What'd you see? What happened there, man?
So for the folks that listened to us last week, we said the GOAT plays a big factor in this game. We said when Tom Brady's in the booth
Yep.
broadcasting, the road team always comes out firing, and the road team came out. They struggled in the first half. They didn't score a lot of points. They only had 10 points at half,
Yeah.
while San Fran had 23. But what happened in the second half? San Fran did not score a single point.
Zero.
Arizona came, scored 14 points.
Yeah.
They got a field goal. They got a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, and then they got a field goal as well to come back and not only cover the +7, because we even said sprinkle the money line on Arizona. They went out and won the game. This game was really exciting.
It was.
Arizona is healthy. Kyle Murray is healthy. Marvin Harrison is healthy.
Yeah.
They got Wilson. They have James Conner. You have a full team that's all healthy and is capable of producing points.
Yeah.
San Francisco, on the other hand, yes, they have a lot of injuries. They came back. They played good football, but the second half they disappeared.
Yeah.
They weren't able to do anything. Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions in that game.
Yep.
And that's not a Brock Purdy event or a game. So Arizona came out firing, letting San Francisco know, hey, listen, we're still in the same division as you guys are. Don't count us out. We've been out for a few years because of injury. But with a healthy team, we can come back and play football against the best.
Yeah. They asked for respect, and they got it.
Yeah, 100%.
They're officially number 2 in the NFC West over the San Francisco 49ers, who were number 3.
Yeah.
So they earned that respect. And I'm not going to lie, I think it sounds like a lot of these teams that the 49ers are playing, they're taking advantage of the fact that the Niners aren't healthy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no C-Mac, right? You don't have that double, triple threat of the offensive core. Like, are they going to rush? Are they going to throw? Like, you don't know. And to your point, like, it just sounds like a healthier team had the better day.
Yeah, they
day.
did.
You know what
they
I mean?
just found out what to do in the second half and shut them down.
And they lost their kicker.
Yeah,
Moody.
and lost the kicker too. So, well, there you go. That was Thursday. That was Sunday Night Football. It was a good, eventful week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we closed our records. I mean, our week that week was Alnoor 1-1-1 across the board. I went 2-0-1.
You know, this is twice we've done this. The week before this too.
Yeah.
I went 1-1-1 and you went 2-1-1.
So does that mean in 2 weeks I've lost 0 times?
Yeah,
I'll take it. 4-0.
At least it's not a Thursday.
At least it's not a Thursday. That we'll talk into a little bit because, you know, I feel like I make up my losses from Thursdays. I make it back on the Sundays. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So our new records for Sunday and Monday Night Football are the exact same. Identical. We both took our creative ways to get there, but we got there together. We're both 6, 7, and 2. We are officially, one game away from being 500?
Yes, correct.
So, stay tuned for our next drop on Saturday for our Sunday and Monday Night Football games, where we will be hopefully going 3-0-0.
Yes.
Yeah. So there it is. That was our game of the weeks. But, week 5 isn't done quite yet.
Yes.
We had our trending bet.
Which failed us. We spoke earlier. Bigsby came out, had a big night. Etienne, yes, he was injured, had a shoulder injury. But to a defense that was, second last in the league on rushing yards.
Yeah.
And Etienne couldn't take advantage. He had the opportunities. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They gave him the opportunities. But he wasn't able to take advantage of them, make that breakout run where he would get a couple of yards. He ended up with, 17 yards in the whole game?
Yeah.
And every time Bixby got the ball, his backup,
huge.
He made a full force out of it. It was like a bull running through the red flag. And he just went straight through, got his yardage, and kept Jacksonville in the game.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it was. And that's what we mentioned earlier, that Etienne may have either or is definitely on his way to losing his job.
Yeah.
Like Bigsby had, 13 rushes, nearly double Etienne's, but his yard per carry was nearly triple.
Exactly, like ridiculous.
Right? Nearly triple Etienne. So he's more effective. He had a 65-yard breakout. He picked up 2 tutties. Like, you had 2 touchdowns from a backup running back. Like, this is something that is for those who are fantasy, pick him up if you haven't already. If you put him on something on like a bet back there, you probably were seeing times 10, maybe 15 your money. Like, this is a guy who we're not expecting to see anything, and he came out and just took that job away from Etienne and put the offensive coordinators to notice to be like, hey, I want this role more. give it to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think he earned it.
He earned it. So that was it.
That was it.
So that trending bet didn't come through, which also led us to our 3-leg parlay.
Yeah.
Where we had so much faith in Etienne to go over, which
That was tough.
That was a tough one too, because we had our 3-leg parlay. We'll go over it again. We had Etienne over 50 yards.
Yep.
Swift over 50 yards.
Yeah.
And then Jacobs over 50 yards.
And we hit Jacobs.
We hit Swift.
Etienne just let us down.
Just let us down. Just didn't want to run the football for us.
Yeah.
And
that was it. He was about 33 yards short from where we needed it to be. And like we said, like we were 2 for 3. Unfortunately, that's not the rule of a parlay. But Etienne, I think that's going to cost him his job.
I also feel like Etienne could have had a chance to do it, but Jacksonville allowed Indianapolis to come back.
That's it. Yeah.
I felt with Bigsby running a big game, scoring those couple touchdowns, sure. But if Indianapolis didn't come back in this game, I think they would have kept giving
running
Etienne.
it. They kept running it.
And because the defense didn't allow Indianapolis to score, it kind of jeopardized us here.
Yeah.
And allowing him to get to over 50 because Bigsby was having the hotter hand, they just played that, and we took the loss here.
That's it.
But that's okay. That was last week. We got week 6.
But
week 6.
But we had a big bounce back before for Sunday Night Fantasy. So
Cannot forget about that.
Cannot forget fantasy.
There's one positive in week 5 we have here, aside from our games of the week.
And you know what? Games of the week we did hot. Parlays we didn't do well. Trending bet with Etienne. But the Sunday Night Fantasy football lineup that we had, it was rock solid. This is an all-time high in points. If you guys followed us, we probably helped you guys clean house. We know we did.
Yeah.
So we had Geno Smith as our quarterback.
Yes.
Who picked up a healthy 22.6 points.
Mm-hmm.
We had Etienne and King Henry as our running backs.
Yes.
Etienne picked up 12.
Yep.
Sure. And King Henry picked up 16.6 points. I'll tell them who we got for the rest, man. All
right. So
this was the big guys.
So we had Nico Collins, who came in, got a nice touchdown for Houston, and then while running that long route, that 58-yard touchdown, he pulled his hammy.
I know.
And right after that, he had 15.8 points and left the game.
So we could have taken more.
We could have had a lot more. But then we had another wide receiver who covered for everybody on our team. We had Mr. Jamar Chase, who came out with 41.3 points in a game where he knew that his team needed him, and he put on a show for them. 41.3 points, Jamar Chase.
Huge.
And they still took a loss. But that's beside the point. We
that's
got
okay.
fantasy.
We got his points.
We got the points. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Then we had our tight end, Mr. Swifty.
He still has to find pay dirt. He still has to find pay dirt.
He still has to find it. He still has to find the end zone. But he got 16 points, though.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of yardage.
He picked up his yardage in the first half.
Yeah.
He was involved in the game. There wasn't a lot of double team. We were here thinking Rashee Rice, big injured. They'll still double Kelsey because Kelsey was nowhere to be found.
Yep.
But now Kelsey is finding an open spot where he's able to catch the football. 16 points for us, helped us out in our fantasy.
Solid.
Which leads us to our defense, which we had Sunday night. Irshad, tell them what our defense was.
We had the Steelers.
We had to wait like 2 hours to watch the play.
Yeah, I know. It was rain delayed and everything. But man, oh man, did the Steelers come clamping down. That game was a very, very, very interesting game because they were against what are supposed to be a high-powered Dallas offense. Now, yes, Dallas won, but Steelers held it down, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, 20-17, 20 points given to a team like that, Pittsburgh deserves the kudos there. Lastly, we had our kicker. We had Group.
Yeah.
Yes, he picked up 1 point, but I mean, to be honest, the Saints were down early.
Yeah.
All they could do is keep going for the touchdowns. They couldn't afford necessarily field goals, so they had to do it. And at the end of the day, like we mentioned, Jamar Chase held down for everybody.
Yep.
So we definitely score with that one. Our total at an AIM Sports all-time high is 132.3 points.
Let's go.
Which averages about 16 points per position. That is the highest we've ever gotten, and we just want to go up from here.
Yes.
So we hope you guys tailed that because that's where you guys would have 8. We secured the bag, but we secured it. But we got to put it back out there to secure some more.
Yes, always.
So now we're moving on to Thursday Night Football for Week 6.
Week 6.
Oh, man. So, coming into this week.
Yes.
Alnoor.
Yeah.
You're officially above 500.
Yes.
You're sitting at 3-2.
3-2.
He's
seeking his first win.
I'm still seeking my first win. My goal is to go 13 straight now.
All right, let's do it.
All right?
Let's do
13
it.
and 5.
Let's do it.
But I'm currently 0 and 5 on Thursdays, but I like to make it up on Sundays
Yes.
because, I like to switch it up here. So, the next game for
Yes.
Week 6 Thursday night primetime football is a divisional matchup.
Since we love it out here.
We love divisional matchups, and NFL hears us. They like to make them. So,
Yeah.
divisional matchup. San Francisco visiting the loudest crowd in the NFL,
Yes.
the Seattle Seahawks.
Woo.
And Vegas has the lines at San Francisco minus 3.5. So, Alnoor, let me throw it over to you first, bro. What do you think of that line? Where's your head at? What's your call, and why? Break it down for the folks.
So this is a fun game. Both teams are off short weeks.
Yeah.
Both teams came off a loss. 3.5 spread divisional game. Seattle's in first in the NFC West.
Yeah.
San Francisco is third in the NFC West. The game you're seeing with San Francisco being healthy, unhealthy, it's just the way they're playing. It's not consistent. It's not really Super Bowl caliber. I feel like they have 1 week where, or the first half, they feel like they're really good, and in the second half, they just forget to play football. You got a lot of key injuries, people coming back. Seattle, like Irshad said too, you got the 12th man at home.
Yeah.
You got a big 12th man at home, but then you have the other player on the field, Craig Warstad. He's the referee for tomorrow night's game. Now, going into this week, home teams are 64 and 63 on the money line, while being 52, 73 and 2 against the spread since 2016. This shows that Craig likes the home underdogs. Well, no, he doesn't like the home underdogs. He doesn't like them at all. But the home teams are even. Not even, they're ahead. They're ahead by 1 after last week where we had Denver Broncos beat the Las Vegas Raiders, which improved to 64 and 63 on the money line. I can't really pick this game, Irshad. I don't know who to take. I feel like this is going to be a real close one. And the 49ers struggle against their division.
Yeah.
They haven't had a win against the division. They're 0-2. They lost to Arizona, and then they lost to Rams. Now they're going in to play Seattle. But then Seattle just came off a loss too. Geno Smith is struggling. The 49ers kind of own them as well too. They're 7-2 against the spread on the road against the NFC West since 2022. But then, since then, they've started 0-2 against the spread on the road.
Yeah.
So, are we seeing like a post-Super Bowl hangover where they were dominant so much?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, other teams in the division have been like, hey, don't forget about us because we've been watching you guys play, dominating us. And we're on film being like, hey, we can compete with you guys. And so, I feel in divisional games with short rests, favorites, road teams have the advantage against the spread. Road team favorites are 98, 79, and 5 against the spread. And the road teams are 99, 77, and 5 against the spread in the last 20 years.
Damn.
That stat is ridiculous. 99, 77, and 5 against the spread in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
This all favors San Francisco.
It does.
It favors them. It shows everything against them. I just don't know who to take.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm stuck here. I might have to listen to you first and let me know who you take and what you're doing.
See, honestly, you're not wrong because I think, and I do agree, this statistics and history points towards San Francisco as it did last week with Tampa Bay.
Yes.
But with Thursday Night Football, there's always a word that comes in, and that word is but.
Yes.
But. So, Tampa Bay last week was favored, but something didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Statistically, San Francisco is being favored here, but. So, it's something interesting because, Alnoor, I know you were mentioning, we like to talk about the ceiling, we like to talk about the floor.
Yeah.
So, Purdy definitely has a hot hand.
Yes.
Geno is 3-9 straight up on short rest in his career, right? Which is actually one of the worst, in the past 20 years across quarterbacks, right? However, this year, it's a different Geno. Like, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And as an underdog in his career, Gino's 22, 18, and 2 as a dog. And this is something interesting because, sure, as a dog, he struggled recently, going 4 and 8
Yeah.
against the spread his last 12. But being a home dog in Seattle is action advantage. So Seattle is 25, 14, and 1 against the spread as home underdogs since 03, including 11 and 4 in the first 2 months of the season. Okay? This is something interesting because dating back to, was it last year, December?
Yeah.
The 49ers have lost 6 straight games against the spread against teams above 500 straight up. And, to have lose 6, could this be 7?
Yes.
Now, one thing it's important to state is we heard from the offensive coordinator himself that, or for the Seattle offensive coordinator, let me clarify, that they want to rush the ball more. Okay, we know right now with the amount of rushing, it's pretty underwhelming for Kenneth Walker comparatively to other starting running backs. So Kenneth Walker right now, on average, averages 12 carries per game. Okay, now based on that fact, when Walker gets less than 10 carries or doesn't play, while his time at Seattle, he's 6 and 10 straight up. Seattle 6 and 10. But in the last 23 games that he's played or gotten 10 carries or more, Seattle's 15 and 8. So nearly twice as likely to win if they give him the ball more. And as we saw from last week's earlier this week's conversation, Seattle wants to rush the ball more.
Yeah, they do. They want to get Walker involved.
They do, which means that whether you get him involved as a player, so it could be like a receiving option as well, or a check down, or a rusher, this could actually play into the fact that we are now moving into potential outright win territory historically.
Yes, correct.
Right? So, yes, there are a lot of opportunities. I think the referee here in this game particularly is maybe a little even. Actually, like, it's tough to say here. I think it could go honestly either way. Statistically, both teams are right there and there. Like,
they are.
For the majority of the statistics, like, they're right there with one another. But where the differentiating factor to me, outside the referee, outside the statistics, Gino and the way he's playing and how that could be a difference maker this year. Brock Purdy and the injury given San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. But what's interesting is Kittle is coming off an oblique injury. Yes, he's playing, but he had an oblique injury. Derek Hall, being the linebacker that has had a solid impact for the 49ers defense, is coming back next game. Yes, he has that questionable designation. Yeah. Yes, we know this. But the coach has come out and said he is suiting up for that game.
He is, yes.
Okay, so their defense is held intact. Okay, yes, Julian Love as the safety currently is a game time decision, which means he could also show up. That means their defensive core is, for the most part, yes, a little battered for sure, but intact enough to play. That's all that matters. Whereas the linebacker for the 49ers, Flanagan Fowles, is out. Ward is questionable, so he's a game time decision. And then you factor in the notion they have a 12th man in Seattle.
Yes.
So, a lot of statistics. I know that was kind of dense. All to say, though, and I know maybe I don't have the credibility right now because I'm 0-5.
Yeah.
But I'm rolling with...
Hold on, before you say your pick.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Sure.
So before you make a pick, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
The 49ers have won 5 consecutive matchups against the Seahawks going back to 2021.
Okay.
The longest 49ers win streak in series history. Prior to the skid of them winning 5, Seattle had won 4 consecutive.
Okay.
So there's been a pattern you see where it's been a team that just goes on a streak.
Yes.
Seattle went on a streak. San Francisco then went on a streak. Right?
Yep.
Brock Purdy came into the NFL in 2022?
Okay, so that's when the streak started?
All right. Well, 2021 started with San Fran.
Okay.
We're talking Brock Purdy era here. 2022. Against the spread in the NFC West, San Francisco is 10-5. 66.7% they cover the spread, while Seattle is only 5-8, which is 38.5. So, again, San Francisco's coming in hot with 5 consecutive wins. They're going into Seattle, third place in the NFC West. They've been covering the spread about 66.7% of the time, dating back to Purdy era. You think 12th man is going to make a difference, or you feel San Francisco is going to come out? What do you...
But let me ask you a question with respect to, like, you're right, the swings are happening, right?
Yes.
Because it's not like it's a back and forth between Seattle and San Francisco.
No, it's been...
They win, like, a block of games, and then it switches to another block. So, like, San Francisco win 4, and then Seattle win 4.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, right now, the current pattern is in the favor of San Francisco, right? Because they've won 4 or 5 straight.
But they're struggling right now,
They're struggling right now. And I know you mentioned the Brock Purdy era.
Yeah.
Was this also in the C-Mac era?
No.
It would have had to be.
Did C-Mac join them, 2 years ago?
Yeah. C-Mac joined from Carolina 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that this would have been around Purdy's time.
Yes.
So which means that this block of
was including C-Mac.
Was including C-Mac.
Yes.
Now C-Mac isn't there.
So,
he's the offensive MVP from last year. Like took him to the... He's not there. Does the block now switch? Because you're not wrong, because these are the blocks of wins.
Yes.
The question is they're going to
the personnel. Yeah, the personnel.
The personnel. Does it matter? Are they going to cover? So San Francisco may purely win tomorrow, but do you think they're going to win by 3.5? That, I think, is the question. Like, do you think that the amount of, like, what we're seeing right now from Geno in Seattle, and what we're seeing from a lack of C-Mac and everybody else picking up the slack and Mason in San Francisco, do you think San Francisco is going to continue to dominate that pattern of games, that block of games, or do you think this is now the start of a shift
exactly.
where now Seattle will go ahead and win the next 3-4 games? And remember, winning is different than the spread. So what
100%.
is your thought? Like, what are you thinking like that,
I was also looking at, too, like, San Francisco plays Kansas City next week. They're playing a revenge game. They're going out. Obviously, they were going to go out and beat Kansas City after them beating them in the Super Bowl. But that's another week. They have a long rest, too. But again, I'm just looking forward. While you have Seattle going to play Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Once again, San Francisco is third in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Seattle is first. They're one game behind each other. I'm going with San Francisco minus 3.5.
Ooh.
I'm taking San Francisco to win by 4 or more.
Okay.
You have my pick right there. You can say what you want.
That's that gut just came out of you. Like, that's what you're going with. Okay.
San Francisco,
I hear you.
minus 3.5.
I respect
that. They
need
to win. I think they're going to come out firing. They're going to go out and win this game. Seattle, yes, is at home. But San Francisco, people will be sleeping on San Francisco. Hey, they're not the same team as they were in the Super Bowl. Like how I said, too, they might be having a hangover. No. Tomorrow night, they're coming out. They're going to show everybody that we are also still here. Win the first division game after being 0. Because you can't go 0-3 in the division. You play each team twice. You have to get one division win. And this is Seattle's first division game.
Yeah.
San Fran minus 3.5. That's my pick.
You're locking it in?
I'm locking it in. I'm going with it. Brock Purdy, have some fun with it.
All right.
Mason, go up, run the football all over the place. Work your magic. Give me the 49ers minus 3.5.
Damn.
First divisional game. Win. Done. Kansas City, worry about that next week.
I mean, definitely. You want to worry about the Chiefs next week, the Falcons next week. But, there's that Thursday Night Football word, but.
Yes.
I think it's going to be Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5. All right. I think that, yes, this is Seahawks' first game against the division. They've won 2 at home. San Francisco has yet to win on the road. Okay, they have yet to win on the road, and they have yet to win against the division. Okay?
Woo.
This is a different 49ers offense we're looking at, right? Because you have to keep in mind, my take is, look, you have the same ingredients.
You do.
Okay? You have the Purdy, you have Ayuk, you have Debo, and you have Kittle.
But you're minusing one of your players.
You're missing the actual main player. You
The
have
playmaker itself,
The
yeah.
playmaker. You are literally, this individual can pass rush and do defense for you.
Yeah,
right.
he's Mr. Do-It-All.
He's Mr. Do-It-All. Like, he is built.
He can even throw the football for
He
you.
could. He could. Like, where are you gonna? You're gonna do a play action? Gonna RPO?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna use him as a defense? Like, you have so many options for C-Mac that makes the 49ers without C-Mac a little bit more, I don't want to say predictable, but you make them a little bit more linear. They're not as versatile, they're not as complex. You know that's going to be Mason. Mason's, for lack of better words, a new kid on the block. He's going to be coming in, running those, trends. The IQ necessarily isn't there. He's playing great football, no doubt about it, but his IQ may or may not be at that C-Mac level. C-Mac, yes, is training him, he's mentoring him for sure, but he's not at that C-Mac level, which makes his rush predictable. If that's the case, then when you have broken plays, instead of C-Mac working his magic, using his physical strength, you're just taking that loss, or you're just taking that hit into the wall at the line of scrimmage. Nothing comes out of it. I think we're seeing a different 49ers defense at its core, or 49ers offense at its core, and a different 49ers team
As a whole, yeah.
As a whole, I think that's when the shift is happening. And I think now we're going to start seeing the block of teams, of the games that San Francisco is going to start to lose against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, whether or not that's this game particularly, I don't know. But what I will say is, based on the records, based on statistics, and based on some great football that Seahawks and Geno's playing out there with Metcalf and Kenneth Walker. And yes, offensive coordinators needs to get Kenneth Walker more involved.
Yes.
But I would say not necessarily as a rusher, just as a player. Get him involved on the receiving. Get him involved as a check down. Anywhere. You stretch out the defense a little bit. I'm going Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5.
All right.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, will be the first win for me.
All right, let's hope and see. If not, we'll have to wait for this to be a rematch on Week 11, which is going to be in San Francisco. But there you have it. Thursday Night Football. I myself, Alnoor, have San Francisco minus 3.5.
Yes.
While my brother is seeking for his first win on Thursday Night Football, going plus 3.5 Seattle.
Yes.
This is going to be a fun game.
Very much.
Exciting game. I can't wait till tomorrow night.
I know. Now I'm amped. There's a lot that we're talking about this game. I think this is the most we've ever talked about Thursday Night Football, right? Because the teams are just neck and neck.
They're neck and neck.
Like, there's no real one outlier,
Yeah.
right? And it could honestly go either way.
And they've always produced good games and good football.
Yeah. And it's primetime Thursday.
Exactly.
And Thursday primetime already has its shenanigans, as we saw last week.
And again, it's spooky season right
And
now.
it's spooky season. So, we don't even know.
Yeah, you
right?
don't even know. Well, there you go. Where that leads us to now, fantasy.
Yep, our daily fantasy lineup. One position across every position.
Yep.
But each player can be from only one of the two teams, right? So it's either going to be from the 49ers or from the Seahawks. So, Alden, let me throw it to you first. First three. QB, running back, wide receiver. Who you're taking. Let's do it.
All right, quarterback, we have Purdy. Why we took Purdy? We have Seattle saying they're running the football more.
Yep.
Purdy's going to need to throw the football after throwing away 2 interceptions last week. He's going to get everybody else involved. Purdy's our quarterback. Running back, we got Walker. Speaks for itself. Seattle wants to run the football more. They're going to hand it off to Walker. They'll even throw it to him, as Irshad was saying too, right? Just get Walker involved.
Yeah.
Let him enjoy the game. Walker's our running back. Wide receiver, we got Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Big Boy Metcalf, who could just box you out, grab a ball, catch the ball, and run. If Geno and Seattle want to win this game, they need to rely on Metcalf. They need to get the ball to Metcalf only where he can get it, give him a jump ball, let him face these 49ers defense, and let him enjoy and get a touchdown and get points for our fantasy.
Yeah.
Which leads us to our other three positions, tight end, defense, kicker. Irshad, let him know.
So, tight end, going to be Kittle. Obviously, between Kittle or Fant, it's going to be Kittle. Fant, yes, he's good options for Geno, but Kittle can produce more. Touchdowns, yardage, he has a big body, he has an IQ, he can definitely hold it down. Though he's coming back from an oblique injury, we're confident he can shake it off. Defense, we're pulling the Seattle Seahawks. This was actually a toss-up for us both. This was actually the last position we picked because it was such a close call. 49ers or the defense or Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
We're opting for the Seahawks defense. We think that they're going to have the extra advantage because it's the 12th man. We think that they're actually going to be able to hold it down a little bit better. The Craig Warstad allows the teams to play a little bit more. He's not too penalizing when it comes to flags. So we anticipate the Seahawks being able to rush Purdy a little bit more. Now that maybe Mason can't necessarily help the pass block as someone like C-Mac could. With our kicker, we're going with Myers.
Yes.
Reality of it is we San Francisco lost Moody
Yeah,
to a
they
high
lost
ankle
Moody.
sprain
Yeah.
for a little bit, and Coach Shanahan did mention that these kickers are quote like independent contractors,
Yeah.
which means that he's gonna be finding someone who can kick the ball and kick the ball well.
Yeah.
So could they find someone out of a gold mine for sure? These are NFL kickers for sure they could, but will it be the best kicker? I don't know. To be determined. Have they played NFL? Have they played a real life game? I don't know. Will the jitters get to them? I don't know. But one thing that we're going to be confident about is Myers, who's been there, done that, played in the NFL, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Confident.
Yes.
So there you heard it here. Our daily fantasy lineup for tomorrow's game: quarterback Purdy, running back Walker, wide receiver Metcalf, tight end Kittle, defense Seahawks, kicker Myers.
Ooh,
That's it.
that's a good fantasy lineup right there.
Thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
it. Which now leads us to our trending bet. Trending bet we have here. Listen, we know Seattle wants to run the football,
Yeah.
but for them to also score, or if San Francisco catches on, they gotta throw it to a wide receiver.
And he made it public too.
Yeah,
he said it.
did. He said, "You gotta throw me the football, Mister. Throw me the football." DK Metcalf,
Yeah.
anytime touchdown score, at 2.5 times your unit on a Thursday night football in Seattle with the crowd there on your like in your hometown. They'll be
Yeah.
cheering for you on their feet, yelling at you, hyping you up, booing the San Francisco crowd. Metcalf has to come with an A game.
Yeah.
Gino just has to find him and trust his wide receiver.
I agree.
2.5 units.
Yeah.
Trending bet, anytime touchdown. DK Metcalf, Abe Sports. You heard it here first.
That's it. I don't know why the offensive coordinator said he wants to run the ball because now
Maybe it's a little decoy, letting them know that
mind games.
all mind games.
Mind games. That's it. So DK Metcalf, they have one chance of winning the game tomorrow or keeping it close. Metcalf's got to perform.
Which
and
now-
like my brother said, throw it up there.
Let
Let
him go
Metcalf get it.
Yeah,
Let Metcalf get
he'll
it.
go get it.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to go get it.
Yeah.
What was it, a couple weeks ago? He had that catch where they ruled incomplete, but he was there was a clause that he was in.
He was in. Yeah.
But feed him the ball. He'll make plays for your team.
That's
allow
it.
you to get a W in a big divisional game here. DK Metcalf, anytime touchdown.
Let's do it. And now
from there, we go
this is
to-
Alnoor's favorite part of the show here,
This is
which is the parlay segment. He likes
Yes.
to leave this for the last. You
I
know.
always like to leave it for the last.
That's it. I know my brother's favorite part, which is the 3-leg parlay.
Yes.
As we do every week, and this will be focused exclusively on Thursday night football. So, Alder, I know you love this segment of the show so much. I'll let you announce the first leg of the 3-leg parlay for Thursday night.
All right, so this game should be a really, really close game. Yes, Moody is out for San Francisco. They signed a new kicker. But we have Myers, who's a nice kicker for us as well, too, from Seattle. I feel both teams will drive down the field. Touchdowns will come if a defense makes a mistake. Over 1.5 field goals is our first leg of the parlay at 1.15 times your unit. Give it to us. I love 1.5 field goals. 2 field goals, 1 each.
Yeah.
That sounds easy to me.
I think that's a good bet here. Over 1.5, like you're gonna have Myers kick for 2 for himself. To be honest,
Yeah, at least.
at least
He
right?
should.
But-
Because you got to get points.
You got to get points, right? It's like we said, it's a neck and neck game. These two teams are formidable in their respective categories, and they're almost equal.
Yeah.
Which means that you have the defenses playing high caliber, the offense is playing high caliber. As we see with the Vegas spread at 3.5, the kicker might actually be the difference maker.
Yeah.
So it's important that it's going to be probably over 1.5 field goals for
The whole game.
for the
Both
whole
teams
game.
combined. Yeah.
Easily across the board, which leads us to our second leg
Yes.
of the game. And in this case, it is an anytime touchdown from Mason.
Yes. Jordan Mason
From the San Francisco 49ers. Now, one of the things that's important is, obviously, as we know, he's been taken over from C-Mac
Yeah.
due to injury, and Mason's been coming out strong.
He has.
He has been. And honestly, last game against the Cardinals, he played a decent game.
Yeah.
He did not find pay dirt,
Yeah.
which means he is slated.
And he fumbled the football.
And he did, so ball security is important.
So he's going to come back and show his team and his coaches,
He's like,
hey,
"Trust
listen,
me.
I got
Trust
this.
me."
That was one mistake. I won't let it happen again.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know what? Like, we're going into week 6.
Yeah.
Right? That means we played 5 games.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason, across 5 games, has scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
This is going to be game number 6 for him.
Mm-hmm.
That means, on average, he scores 1 touchdown every other game.
Yeah.
He didn't get it last game.
Yeah.
I think he's slated for this game.
I think so too.
So, Mason, anytime touchdown, lock it in, which brings us to our last leg of the 3-leg parlay, which isn't necessarily a props bet. It's actually
not.
one of the more common bets around
It
here.
is actually.
And Alnoor, I'll let you close this out.
So, like we said, this is gonna be a really, really close game. Both teams are neck and neck right there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this is gonna be a battle of the trenches. It's gonna be so close. It's gonna be closer than close. We're taking the under 49.5 points.
Yes.
50 points is a lot in this game.
It is.
For a divisional game like this,
Yeah.
for both teams need to come out and get a W. Seattle's first division game at home. San Francisco's, third divisional game, haven't won a divisional game, haven't even won on the road.
Nope.
They don't want to come out and let Seattle run over them and put points on them.
No.
They're going to want to control the football, and
Yeah.
both teams like to control the football.
Yeah.
That's the style they play. So 49.5 under, that's what we like at 1.9 times your unit,
Yeah.
which you add all three together, which gives you a total of
4.2 times your unit.
I just 2 field goals, Mesa touchdown under 49.5.
I mean, look at that. Like, look at that. I think this has to be one of the easiest 3-leg parlays I think we've ever had.
And it sounds doable, and it's
It
giving
sounds
you
doable.
4.2.
4.2. Like that's a solid odd. That's a solid odd maker. You know, you can even leverage with a fiver.
Yeah.
You know, and still make $20.
Exactly,
It's not bad.
exactly right.
Like depending on, of course, your sports book, you might add some variance, but 4.2 is a solid odd.
Is a solid return.
And honestly, I want to add something to Alnoor. You mentioned you guys are playing in Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle is cooler tomorrow. It's 14 degrees.
Okay.
San Francisco is known to be a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
So yes, they're on the same time zone,
But
it's a
when
little
it's
bit cooler.
cold, you want to just run the ball and get warm, right?
That's
You don't
it.
want to. You don't want a defense or an offense to sit down for 6-7 minutes,
Exactly.
freezing, and then
No.
coming back and be like, "Hey, let's play."
Let's play.
No, they're gonna want to do that on both sides. They're gonna run the football, have everyone involved.
And Seattle's used to it. Because
Yeah.
that's their home.
That's their hope, right? So this is gonna be a fun game
It's
tomorrow.
gonna be a good game.
I'm excited for this divisional game tomorrow.
So that's it. You heard it here. That's our TNF Thursday Night Football parlay at AIM Sports.
Yes.
You got over 1.5 field goals on the game.
uh-huh.
Mason anytime touchdown and under 49.5 for the entire game for a total of 4.2 times your unit.
Yes.
Which brings us nearing to the end of our segment, which is the games of interest for next week, which will drop. Oh, sorry, for this week. Sorry,
Yes.
which will drop on Saturday for the remaining games in week 6. So these are the games of the week here, folks. It's just something that we like to kind of keep on top of your radar because
Yeah.
some of them are a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
So, Alnoor, what's the first couple of games on the games of interest?
We got a game where it's gonna be high offense.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a Sunday 4:29, 4:25, so second window slot between Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this game, but that's one of the game of interest. Can Dallas compete with the best?
That's the thing. Can they?
Yeah, and then we have another game. A division game here, Irshad. Tell them the division game we have here.
This one's another divisional game because we love to do that
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
We have the New Orleans Saints
Uh-huh.
playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
Both in the NFC South. Both it's a second versus third matchup. Lots to say, lots to do. Derek Carr isn't playing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a backup quarterback coming
Mm-hmm.
in. He is doubtful with an oblique injury. Kamara is questionable, so a lot of injury on the Saints side. But they're coming off a loss. So it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. Will they bounce back?
Yeah.
We don't know. Stay tuned for that.
Exactly. And then we have another game here where we got Arizona versus Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona just came off a win against the 49ers. Green Bay just beat the Rams. Jordan Love at home. You got a team in Arizona who's hot and indoor going outside playing against Green Bay.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun game to watch.
I
Can
agree.
Arizona stay hot and fly into Green Bay and win the game?
I mean, TBD, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
we'll find out about that one.
Which leads us to another divisional matchup
Yes.
because of how much we love it here. We have the Tennessee Titans against the Indianapolis Colts. So the Titans are coming off a bye week, and the Colts are actually coming off a loss against Jacksonville. But now what's interesting is being that it is a divisional matchup, this is also a second versus third matchup. The Titans taking an L after bye week could potentially solidify them at 1-4 and could be a hard climb back into the wild card spot.
Yeah, it would.
Can they still secure and hopefully save their potential wild card
Yeah.
TBD.
TBD, which leads us to another game, which is going to be fun to watch. It's an inter-conference game, so you have one from one side, AFC, one from the NFC. You got the Washington Commanders coming into Baltimore. You see our rookie of Jaden Daniels, who's putting on a show as a rookie. People thought the season he's having, Caleb Williams should be having.
Yeah.
But Jaden Daniels went under the radar, didn't have the spotlight, and said, hey, listen, I'm also here for Rookie of the Year. Going against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
They both have the same style of play. Baltimore's on a hot streak right now.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop King Henry.
No.
Is Washington going to be able to do it? TBD.
TBD. Which brings us to our last game. It's another game cross-conference and cross-division. This is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, who are coming off a bye week, who are surprisingly underwhelming.
Yeah.
Because they're 500. With an offense like that, they should easily be 3-1. You know what I mean?
A lot of injuries haven't heard of them.
A lot of injuries, right? And they're playing against the Cleveland Browns, who also have been injury-ridden themselves. But can one steal a win from the other to solidify their playoff races in their respective division and conference? I guess we'll find out, because the Eagles have had an extra week of rest. Can they capitalize? Because the spread right now is pretty high at -9.5.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So I guess Vegas is thinking that Philly should dominate Cleveland, but I guess we'll see.
We'll find out.
That's it. Well,
There you have it.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Our week 6, episode 10. This is our 10th episode in this season.
Yeah.
That we are talking all NFL.
Yes.
But one thing I want to add a wild card here is this week a new professional sports league has started.
Yes.
That we'll be venturing into in the coming weeks.
Yes, we will.
And we're going from the from the field
to the ice.
To the ice rink.
Where it's slippery.
Woo! So, yes, they definitely got special shoes, but it ain't cleats.
Yeah.
It's going to be them skates. So, stay tuned for our hockey drops coming later in the upcoming weeks. But to close out week 6, episode 1, you guys heard it here. Lots to say, lots to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kickoff is tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks.
That's it.
I got my 49ers.
I got my Seahawks.
Let's see, division game. Let's see who's going to win this one.
Big game. And then don't forget, folks, to tune in to us on Saturday, where we're going to drop our game of the weeks, where Alnoor and I clearly both have the hot hand for those games.
Yes.
So tune in. First Saturday's drop, we'll talk our 3 game of the weeks. We'll give you a nice juicy parlay, another trending bet where you can secure the bag before Thanksgiving if you're up here in Canada, and for your daily fantasy lineup. So tune in for that.
Yes.
But aside from that, folks, you guys heard it here with AIM Sports with Alnoor.
Yes.
Myself, Irshad. We hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes.
Stay safe. Bet what you can afford. Have fun.
Get your popcorn ready. Get your candy ready.
It's going to be a good game.
For a good game. From AIM Sports, we here, we out, week 6. Let's go win some money.
Let's do it.
Peace.
Peace.